hello? What happened here? Like, the thing just stops playing, like the show's live and stuff, and it stops playing. And it's like, Jake, what did you do here? You're wearing the goddamn vest again.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk.
Okay.
Streaming. If you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show. Streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
The Monty Show, as always, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Who were thrilled and very thankful for all of your donations yesterday. We raised well over $1,000 here on the show to feed hungry folks. I just am so thankful for everybody who donated yesterday. And don't forget, if you get hurt this weekend, you get in an accident, you have a slip and fall, you can get to the Advocates at theadvocates.com, and they're going to serve you when you need them, where you need them, and how you need them, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Usually there's a commercial for the Advocates playing right now, but who knows why. Jake stopped everything because it's your fault. It's that stupid vest you're wearing. Again,
yeah, I know. It's my dumb vest. And
for the record, I asked Jake to change the vest, and he refused. I'm telling you, your equipment is possessed. Has that ever happened? I don't think that's ever happened before.
No, that's never happened, dude. It is not, I'll be honest with you guys. It's not the equipment. It's the streaming software. The streaming software can be very buggy. It can be,
it is the best streaming software in the business. Yeah. It is the best streaming software in the business.
Yeah,
and it just does not always do what it's supposed to do. And I mean, they do cool stuff, right? Like if you want, Halloween borders on your show,
should we just do the whole show like this, or
they do cool stuff. They give you options where you can have fun playtime with Jakey Two Holes.
Yeah, touche.
Right? Like they give you this stuff. But in general, I mean, I guess we could do what they call the candy border.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I'm kind of partial to the skeleton just chilling.
Yeah, toot pants. Exactly, dude. James or treat? Sure, bro.
James or tweet? James or treat? Okay. Supposedly when Nick Saban went to LSU, he told his former staff at Michigan State to be on the plane at midnight. Well, as usual, that's not accurate. No one on the plane. Maybe they should have. No one got on it. Well, yes, it is StreamYard. Yes, it is, Mike. It's fine. Which is, again, I think it's more that Jake wore the vest.
Yeah, it's the curse of the vest.
That's all I can think. Oh, Scott. Tough weekend for everybody in Manhattan, huh? Did you guys hear? Look, and we'll get to Nick Saban. Did you guys hear what Joey McGuire said? He's the head coach at Texas Tech. Did you guys hear what Joey McGuire said about his quarterback situation? So I'm a big believer that Baron Morton would not have started another game if Will Hammond hadn't gotten hurt. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer in that. Listen to Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire, and you be the judge.
We have some guys that have, do advanced analytics for us and everything like that. And it's like, okay, in this game, the percentage of winning when you go out there like Oklahoma State, nothing against them, but the percentage of him going out there versus Will going out there or Mitch going out there, there was not very much difference whatsoever. So you're like, does it make sense? Because Baron wants to play, and he's a different person whenever it comes to, he's got a high pain tolerance, he's really tough. Some of it was kind of protecting him from him and then understanding. So I think that Arizona State, it was the last game of the year, and it was, we're coming into that game and you didn't have the games after that. He probably would have fought me to get out there and maybe, giving it a try, but being able to have a couple weeks to get ready for this game, it's definitely helped him, and he feels really good.
I just don't. That's not a ringing endorsement of Baron Morton, is it?
Certainly not. No,
Right?
it's not. No, and not at all. And I think that Joey is figuring out real quick that sometimes you got to play politician when you're a head football coach, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think that Texas Tech is lucky in the sense that Will Hammond did get hurt, unfortunately, so you don't have a quarterback controversy. But
if he doesn't get hurt, you believe they have a quarterback controversy?
No question about it, because the media would have been all over it. The media would have said, okay, well, Barron's supposed to be the number one, right? I mean, this is the 49er situation all over again, right? It's Mac Jones and Will Hammond filling in and doing a great job. And then the number ones come back, who were number ones before anybody knew who you were. And it's like, well, we're playing good football and the offense is running and we're moving the ball down the field and everything's great. Not really sure we want to make a quarterback change at this time, which would then insinuate that those guys aren't number ones anymore, which we can't have. So I just think it just could have been a much more difficult situation, and they lucked out in that sense.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Monty, this was always Barron's team until he went to Utah and flopped again. I'm telling you, I know enough folks in Tortillaville, and we talk to enough people around college football. I don't believe this was always Barron's team. I think if Will Hammond had come in and blown their doors off, this would have been Will Hammond's team, and nobody would have said another word about it. And I think that as much as I am a big Baron Morton supporter, I don't want that guy on the road against a ranked team. I've talked openly in detail about my belief that he is a guy who struggles to play in the biggest moments. And I think we've seen that repeatedly. It has, in most cases, not cost Texas Tech games. But I think it is, I don't know. I don't think calling it a quarterback controversy is strong, because I just don't think anybody would have ever questioned it. And I think the bigger issue is now you have to instill confidence and belief in Baron Morton. You have to, because by all accounts, he is one of those guys who fights his confidence regularly. And I think that's an awfully difficult thing to do on the fly. And this is a huge game. I think that the K-State game, obviously it's flying under the radar, but don't forget BYU's on a bye this week, which they really needed because LJ Martin's dinged up and they have some guys feeling it a little bit, don't we all? But they have some guys feeling it a little bit, defense and offense in Provo. They're on a bye, and then they're headed to Lubbock. And I think this is the good news is I think this gives Baron Morton an opportunity to reassert himself and become the monster that we all thought that he would be. But he's got to do that, because they will not achieve the goals that they have set for themselves in Lubbock if he does not. And I think with Sam Leavitt being out and done, I think that is a huge moment in time for Texas Tech, because as we've talked about, not that it's some kind of revelation, this can be very difficult for two of these teams to find their way into this championship. And when you look at BYU, I think very clearly BYU and Cincinnati are in the driver's seat. Now, Cincinnati is obviously right here or in Salt Lake City. I default to right here in Salt Lake City, but obviously they're in Salt Lake City. And we'll talk a lot about that game coming up, but I think with ASU losing Sam Leavitt, with your ability to play BYU next week and win that game, Texas Tech, if they can play well against the remainder of their schedule, including BYU, Jake, it feels like they're in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that BYU needs to just continue to do what they're doing. They're in control right now. They will stay in control until they lose a ball game. And that to me is, if you're BYU, is the big thing right now. Like, hey, you're on the bye week. You don't buy into Cincinnati
at all.
No, I think Cincinnati has major proving to do still. I like
Wow.
even with where they are. I mean, because why? I just don't think it's that outlandish of a thing to say. Like you show up one time in 3 seasons, and now we're supposed to believe that you're a real threat. Like if you look at who Cincinnati's played, I mean, they still have some guys left. So
They have a long way to go. I agree, no doubt, but I don't know. I just think. I think Utah's very good. I know I'm the only one who believes that. I think Utah's very good. I think Texas Tech obviously is very good. I think since it's you're not accidentally 7-1 and 5-0 in conference. I mean, now have they beaten BYU, Tech? No, but you're still 5-0, and you beat what at the time was in Iowa State like top 15,
14th.
something like that. Like, I mean, that's a good win for Cincinnati. I think the fact that you still have Utah and BYU left, and obviously you have Arizona left, who's quite scrappy, and that I think that game for I know that game is in Fort Worth against TCU. Like, they have a lot of winnable games, but they also have every one of those games I could see them losing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see Baron Morton take control of this team and absolutely carry him home. Because Texas Tech is the best team in this conference, unless Baron Morton decides not to allow that to happen. That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
A big deal. Dude that abides, y'all keeping up with your device driver updates?
No, apparently not.
I don't know what that means.
That's a reference to the spot not playing.
Oh, device drivers on Apple are not a thing. You should get into the 2020s here, technology wise. If Cincy loses, do they really fall that far in the standings, or can they afford one loss? Well, it all depends on what happens around them. I mean, I have a hard time believing that. I think Cincinnati is very Colorado from last year. They're in a great spot now, but you look at TCU has a real chance to break people's balls. Like, I mean, they've got Iowa State, BYU, Houston, and Cincinnati left.
Yeah.
TCU's got a chance to break some people's balls, much like Kansas last year. Right? This is a tough league to finish in. The Big 12 is a very tough league to finish in, and you just look at some of the numbers, and we'll see. Scoop says 3i Atlas Comet is wild stuff. The conspiracy theories around Jake's vest being part of the 3i Atlas Comet.
Yeah.
Do you want to debunk that, or should we just leave people twisting in the wind over it?
No, I mean, I don't have any type of material that I'm allowed to, expand on or
so the best did come from the 3i Atlas Comet trail.
It did. It was not a prime level shipment, so it didn't get here in 2 days, but but it did eventually break the atmosphere and get to my house and my front door and everything. But they weren't allowed to replace the North Face logo with 3i Atlas or whatever. So, it just was, it's still a bit under the radar and technical and stuff.
Well, I'm still the guy that is shocked a asteroid hasn't hit our planet. I mean, Chad Perling says the vest is 6'7", 6'7".
Bro, stop. Stop.
I'm convinced James is from 3i Atlas with his outlandish college sports takes.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryce Martin. I think it's hard for me to say Tech is the best team in the Big 12 because that ASU game and the holes in their game still worry me. 100% it's the quarterback, dude. You have the line play. In this league, line play is so important. But you went up against the best wide receiver in the conference at ASU. You made huge. But the thing that should worry you is the lack of mental toughness at Texas Tech. They make stupid mistakes. They take a lot of really dumb penalties. So, Husker Magic. I suppose BYU will have something to say next week about Texas Tech being the best team in the Big 12.
Again, you're just assuming. I mean, BYU's going to have their day.
It's going to be very difficult for BYU to go to Lubbock and win. I think Texas Tech is simply put one of the best home field advantages in college football right now. I mean, the distance that the water bottles travel while hiding behind tortillas is unmatched.
It's incredible.
There is no pair. There, okay. Famlor, at this point, the Big 12 just wants BYU and Texas Tech to both make the playoff.
Yes. Yes.
ASU quarterback is out for the season. Yes, he is.
His name is Sam Levitt.
He's also really good. Yeah. Gumby, breaking news 3 Atlas will be joining the SEC in 2027 on a partial share per sources. Also, Sudden. CJ Vance, Jakey 2-day shipping.
Right. That's right.
Okay. Whoa. What is Jake's?
Okay, bro. I don't.
What is
Jake's?
Okay. Bryce Martin. Oh, that's 100% true about the stupid penalties. Cost you both touchdowns against Arizona State.
Yes.
And it's what BYU doesn't do. BYU rarely is going to extend your drive with a stupid defensive penalty. BYU will rarely take a 3rd and 3 and turn it into a 3rd and 13 or a 3rd and 8. They just don't do that. And it feels like Texas Tech does that regularly. Boyd Lake, yo, bros, I'm very excited to see how the Cougs do it.
Very excited. That's a Bear Bachmeier reference. Barry instead of very.
Listen, I'm happy to admit that Bear Bachmeier has been one of the great surprises in the freshman class of college football. They all have that game, and Bear is the thing. And I will continue to sound the cautionary tone on Bear Bachmeier.
Warning.
He has had moments. He has not had games. And he needs to now, the next step is going to be string multiple games together where he plays exceptional football. Lubbock's probably not the place that's going to happen, but we'll find out. We will find out. Paxton, Molly McGrath from ESPN saying it looks really good. Arch will play. Yes, he will play. It looks like.
Y'all want to play.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm not so convinced.
I mean, in all honesty, as good as Bear Bachmeier's been, how mediocre has Arch Manning been? And you're starting to see, you feel like he's that car that's trying to turn over and start. And he just hasn't been able to do it. So,
True.
Steely says, sup, Morty and Jake.
Yeah,
sup,
Morty and Jack. By the way, still looking for an Instagram, Twitter handle solution. Still trying to come up with something, guys. Any contributions are welcome on today's program.
Well, now you're live stream. Did you guys see Jake live streamed his Battlefield play?
I mean, we had a good time.
Okay. Who'd you talk to?
Wow. Talked to Mapes. We talked to Gabe. There were several people in there.
Okay.
Why are you hating?
Me? Why would I hate? I don't. What do you mean? Whatever happened to the Mo Bamba soundbite? Man, Cam Harrison has been riding that Mo Bamba soundbite for like 5 years on this show.
We still have it.
SLC refugee Jake doesn't just roll off the tongue. Cool. Call of Booty Jake. Matt Richmond, $5. Afternoon, guys. Glad YouTube, not like Disney, pull the plug on YouTube TV last night, dude. This is on YouTube TV. And I'm happy to fight over this. I know all the folks involved in this. And I've talked to a lot of them. And this is YouTube trying to flex down on ESPN because of DTC. And ESPN Plus, the direct-to-consumer launch, Google, I think, wants ESPN's money. And ESPN wants to give Google as little money as possible. And a lot of it is because ESPN is not reliant on cable and satellite anymore, which is why you hear them pushing ESPN Bet, ESPN the app. You don't have to go to YouTube TV. Just download the ESPN app, save money, subscribe to us, get all your games live right here on your phone or TV. I was watching ESPN. I watch Get Up every morning on my TV this morning, not through YouTube TV, through the ESPN app. Happy to do it. Walked into my office this morning after getting my butt probed at the doctor, and
you did. Yes, you did.
And watched Get Up on my new MacBook Pro, M5 chip. Everybody ain't able.
By the way, we still liking that decision. We made that decision while Two Shakes was in town.
Yeah, it's all right.
What do we not like about it?
That you were in town.
Well,
I'm
Yay!
kidding. No, I love it. The MacBook Pro is phenomenal. It's a great device. But anyway, my point is, I think I fully side with ESPN on this. I think YouTube TV is outrageously expensive already, and I really don't need YouTube TV. And if this goes on more than a few days, I'll probably cancel YouTube TV. Simple as it is.
yeah, I think what's difficult is I mean, I think a lot of people are in that boat. I'm in that boat too. I think the problem is though that removes like CBS and NBC, and then I gotta go and like I'm not paying for the cock right now. I'm not paying for CBS Plus.
You live in Eugene. Nothing ever happens there.
Yeah, but
you don't need the local news.
No, I know, but like for college football and things like that, yeah. So
yeah, you have no choice.
So it just is. It's just frustrating. Like, I don't know why this has to be so complicated. Like, why does it have to be a thing where we got to have, like, I understand it's the internet and it's streaming and hey, it's everyone's different option. Everyone's different option. All these different apps and platforms and streaming softwares and, just options abound. But, I'm just fatigued with it. I'm honestly tired of having to be like, man, where's Major League Baseball tonight? Or what?
So you've come over to my side of the road now.
Yeah, I mean, I from a usability standpoint, I've been on your side of it. Like with, hey, it's like the example you always use about like having to switch apps and it takes forever and you can't just switch the channel and like, and then we obviously get to the portion where it's like, hey, can your, everyone's smart TV goes through times where it doesn't keep up with switching channels back and forth. And so it's not good enough just to have blazing fast internet and a really nice TV. You know what
else I hate? YouTube TV. When I go away from YouTube TV to go to the cock or whatever, and I come back to YouTube TV and it's paused where I was watching. And then I have to fast forward. Oh, I'm sorry. Did we wake you up, Jay? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, bro. Continue.
You gonna make it?
No. Keep going.
Do we need to end the show? Like, do you need to get some music on? Okay. I'm just trying to wake you up a little bit. I know it's tough to. Okay.
You feel better?
Yeah. You want me to put the pumpkin border back on?
Yeah, man. That'll wake him up.
Well, Captain Skeleton being on the screen, that'll help you there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of YouTube TV. I think it's a requirement for what we do. But I get Peacock for free through Amex. I also get Paramount for free through Amex. I get so I don't pay for a lot of those things. I only buy the Sunday ticket and the MLB. Well, the MLB package was free because I'm a Chicago Cubs season ticket holder. So you get it for free through that, pimp. But I only pay for the things that I do because I get a tax write-off. And that doesn't mean I don't have to pay out of pocket. It just means at the end of the year, I get a write-off. And it still sucks.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's gouging. It is the worst of the worst. And it's incredibly frustrating to me that we continue to have to deal with this nonsense just to watch sports.
Yeah. I mean, why does it have to be so difficult? Why, you know, I just want it to be easier, bro. Like it very much makes me wish that DirecTV had figured themselves out. Like, you know, figure it out, dude. Like offer us better packages, offer us, you know, better usability. Like like we're really good as companies and humans with like devices, right? Like everything from MacBook Pros to audio mixers to car, like usability in the day-to-day with our different devices. Yeah. We're really good at innovating and making that stuff work exactly how we want it to. But when it comes to watchability, when it comes to, you know, making a seamless viewing experience, we're not good at that. And I don't know. I really don't know how that's going to be fixed because, you know, I don't blame ESPN.
I do. You know how it'll be fixed? It won't be fixed because that will cost YouTube TV money to fix it. Because why do you think YouTube TV was so against all the networks putting their sports live play-by-play into an app? Because then you don't have to go to YouTube TV. Right? Like,
and this isn't YouTube TV's first time, by the way.
No, or a first network battle. I think it is. I just think this is incredibly disappointing, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. CJ Vance, if you cancel YouTube TV, how will you get local channels? Do you watch local channels?
No.
I don't watch Chicago. Like we were watching SVU last night, and we were watching people getting inserted on SVU. And I watched it on the Peacock. It's where I watch Chicago PD. Don't watch it on King 5 TV. Don't watch it on
KSL
TV. Yeah, don't watch it on KSL. I watch it on Peacock. I watch Notre Dame football on the cock. Right? Like I'm so tired as a sports fan of being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I'm over it. And it's funny. I went to the doctor this morning. Because I had to get. I obviously I moved, and the commute to Salt Lake City from Seattle is too far for my doctor. He won't make it. He won't come and do in-house visits. What a jerk. So I found a new doctor. And if you haven't seen Amazon Pharmacy and Amazon One Healthcare, oh my God. Bro, so good. But this doctor that I went to, she needs to settle down.
And glory holes.
But she was great. At Amazon, at One Medical by Amazon, they mandate that a doctor uses 30-minute appointment windows. So you get plenty of time. We talked about BMWs, but what else did we talk about? Oh, she's an Oregon State fan. And her frustration with Oregon State football. And
yeah, boy.
You know, like sports is the tie that binds us. People like YouTube TV know that, and they take advantage of us. And I hate it. It is ultimately, I understand everybody's got to get paid, and rights fees are hugely expensive. I hate what sports TV has become. I hate what it's become. I really do.
No question about it, dude. No doubt.
Says the shitification of everything. Okay. Everything. CJ, I don't watch any other TV show, really. Okay. You don't watch any other TV shows.
Besides the Morty program.
You don't watch any other, like, what do I watch? All the Law and Orders. SVU, Rectory James, SVU.
Rectory James.
I watch Law and Order and Law and Order SVU, Chicago PD. Last weekend when my wife was out of town, I really got into the Reacher series on Amazon Prime Video, which I get as part of Amazon Prime. Do you see what I mean? Like, people are giving you their streaming service. Like, Amazon's a great example of this. Like, in the comment section, how often do you guys use Amazon? Not Amazon Prime, just regular Amazon. Dude, I use Amazon every day for groceries now. But what did I order? I ordered garbage bags. I have this Simple Human garbage can Ferrari thing. So I ordered my garbage bags on Amazon. I mean, everything. Absolutely everything. And they know that. So them giving me Amazon Prime Video as part of my Amazon Prime membership, what is it to them? They make tens of thousands of dollars on me every year. That makes sense to me, right? I should, at ESPN, they know that I want ABC, ESPN, Disney. I want it. I want all of their content. One price, one app, done. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Way cheaper. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, Monty, oh, those sons of bitches, they talk about politics. Well, okay. How many decades are we going to hold it against ESPN that at one point their people were political? You have no choice but to watch ESPN and ABC. You have no choice. Your team plays on ABC and ESPN. Yep. NFL, ABC and ESPN. College football, Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA. Where are you going to watch NBA? The Cock or ABC and ESPN?
Amazon.
Amazon. Exactly right. I'm telling you, man, like it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And at some point, somebody's going to do that.
Well, and just the fact that you and us as viewers have to be like, hey, well, where's the NBA tonight, Monty? Where is Major League Baseball? What day of the week is it? It's a day that ends in Y. It must be on a different platform. I mean, it just
frustrating.
It's just so excessive, man. It's so excessive.
Yeah, and I really don't know how it gets fixed. That's what I want to figure out at some point. How does it get fixed? Like, where is the end of the Bohica? Here comes your streaming service fee again. Because truthfully, I don't hate YouTube TV. I don't hate it. Now, I'll tell you, it's way easier to watch YouTube TV on an iPad than a MacBook. It's more seamless. But it's easy on a MacBook. It's easy on a computer. Super easy on my phone. Super easy on my TV. No problem. But it's way easier to watch ESPN on all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't ever like the Fox Sports Go or One or whatever the hell.
Never seen it, dude.
Never seen it. Don't watch Fox at all.
Well, and that's why I love having a MacBook Pro, because I feel like all the content's catered to it. You know, like everything that you can do on a TV, it's presented the same way on a full desktop setup, which is what I think all of these people are going to now, because the younger generation in this world has computers, not TVs, and they want to make it easy that way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Chewy Gonzalez, a member for 11 months.
Bro, Chewy, what the hell was that?
Doyers.
What was that?
Doyers.
Like, what are we doing here?
Doyer.
I want the Dodgers to win. I don't know what. I don't hate Toronto.
It's Canada versus USA, and we all know it.
Is it though?
Yes.
Oh, I think the anti-Trump rhetoric, if Toronto wins, oh my God. Can you even imagine the anti-Trump rhetoric that will come from north of the border if the Blue Jays win? Because I'm telling you now, I am not convinced that the Blue Jays are going to win. I think the evil empire known as the Doyers Yamamoto will win tonight. Shohei sucks, which is to say he's really tired. But it's Japan versus Canada, Ohtani and Yamamoto versus the Blue Jays. Okay. Jake, trust me, I'm upset too. Everyone keeps trying to slug the ball. Have some at bats. How many, Chewy?
Yeah, dude. Yes.
How many times on this show are we going to talk about the fact that the Cubs, again, for instance,
such as in like
and stuff and like in things, just did not have at bats. Just did not have at bats. And it is the most frustrating freaking thing when your team is trying to put games together. Do you think the Dodgers win tonight, Jake?
I do think they win. I do think, to Chewy's point, the Dodgers have been playing all or nothing baseball, which is dangerous and volatile. And I think that it's unreliable. And I think that when you are, when you're undisciplined at the plate, and you're trying to hit home runs and hit everything to the moon, that's not going to lead to great offense. And I think that, the Dodgers are a team that have made their living by turning a harmless 2-out single into like 5-run innings, and doing that through good AB after good AB and grinding you out and being disciplined and not swinging at the garbage stuff, not swinging at stuff out of the zone. And that's changed the last 2 games, which is why they've lost, in my opinion. Now, the pitching being up and down, I don't necessarily agree that Ohtani was horrific. I think 6 innings, is solid in a World Series game, considering you played 18 innings the night before. So, I mean, I don't think he was horrible. But unfortunately for the Dodgers, 6 innings out of your starter doesn't get the job done most nights because of that bullpen. Right. And so now you find yourself in a position where your season's over at Dodger Stadium. You're going across the border into that little concrete pale bucket of a stadium.
Yep.
And you're going to try and win 2 ball games.
I think the what is it? The Rogers
Center.
It's really nice. I think the renovation was really good for it.
Yeah, it was necessary for sure. It's not Dodger Stadium though, obviously.
Well, what is Dodger Stadium? Chavez Ravine, I think, is a palace.
Yeah. But the point is I just think that they need a day off, which they got. And I will be curious if Dave decides to reference any travel issues again, or if there's any excuse making that goes on, after the game tonight, and based on how it goes. Because I just think that the Dodgers should win this series, still fully capable of winning this series. If you said, hey, the Dodgers beat the Blue Jays 2 out of 3 in a series in the middle of August, no one would be surprised. And that's all they have to do here. 2 in a row, not a big deal. Get a quality start tonight. Score 6 runs, score 5 runs, and you're going to be in business. And that is honestly what I think the major adjustment will be. And then I do think that Dave Roberts needs to work the lineup a little bit. I think that Ohtani, is so up and down right now. I love the guy. I think he's the greatest baseball player we've ever seen, but he is still a human being. He's not a robot. He's going to have great nights and he's going to have bad nights. And the difference is his average night is better than the average major leaguer, which is why he's the greatest of all time. So,
yeah, I think. What do you mean greatest of all time?
I think he's the greatest baseball player of all time, dude. The ability to the idea that this guy is able to go 3 for 3 at the plate and then give you a 9-inning performance at one point is absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely out of this world level of performance. So,
they've got their bullpen has to perform. Yamamoto's going to be fine. The bullpen has to perform. And I think it is, what's the right way to say this? I think it is really important that the Dodgers bullpen shows up tonight prepared to win a World Series. I think that's vitally important. And if they don't do that, they're going to lose because Yamamoto is not going to go a complete game. That's
No.
not going to happen. And I understand we'd all love to see that because that would be historic, especially in this day and age. That's not going to happen. And as much as we would all like to, I think, see that happen, what do you think will happen?
I think tonight is more of a slow starting kind of game. Both teams had to travel, obviously. I would not be surprised to see a 1 or 2 run ball game through 6 innings. And then from there, I think, again, the last third of all these games have been bananas. I mean, the 7th inning on is absolute, chaos. And I think that Yamamoto probably gives them 6. And if that's the case, I think they'll be fine. If he's able to get to the 8th, they're going to win the ball game easily. But I don't think that happens.
I think it would be incredibly difficult. If this bullpen for the Dodgers has to pitch more than 3 innings, Toronto will win the World Series.
And by the way, to that point, do we see, because it's Game 6 and Game 7? I mean, obviously you're playing for everything here. All the marbles on the table here. Who do we see come out of the bullpen that we typically wouldn't see because of the bullpen's, lack of performance? Honestly, I mean, do we see? Have we seen the last of Clayton Kershaw in an inning there situation? Have we seen
nobody's off limits?
Well, that's my point. I just don't know who. Yeah, because I don't think the Dodgers can afford to play another 15-inning game. I just don't think that the Dodgers, from a arm standpoint, are in a place where that's going to work and they can win because both of these are on the road. If these are both at Dodger Stadium, okay, probably a different conversation, feels a little different, vibes a little different. You're sleeping in your own bed. Okay. But being that this is on the road, the good news is for the Dodgers, there is only one reason you're there, and that's it. There isn't going to be any, we're not having a good time in the hotel, bro. We're getting treatment.
It's a business trip.
Yeah, we are fully locked in. So I what do I expect? Frankly, I expect the absolute best out of everybody involved for the Dodgers, and that would include Dave Roberts. And I do hope that we get some tinkering tonight. I wouldn't take Ohtani out of the leadoff spot, but I do think, playing around with where Kike hits or who you're gonna, have be your 4-hitter. Like I think those little things ultimately can wind up making massive differences as the game goes on.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the deal.
I'm the worst there is.
You know what I'm going to say, and that is that why would you pitch to Ohtani? I think
in this game, you're pitching to him because you have a 1-game lead. There's no reason
to him. If you pitch to him, you are stupid beyond recognition.
I'm pitching to him if it's no outs, nobody on base. If it's bases, if it's second and third with 2 outs, I'm not pitching to him. Right? If it's leverage situation, I'm not pitching to him.
I got to be honest with you. You can have any situation. I'm walking him. And I know that's me being an asshole, and people hate when I say that. And I'm sure that most people hate when I say that. There's not a chance on God's green earth that I am going to pitch to Shohei Ohtani tonight. I am not going to give you the opportunity to ruin my legacy. And if I walk him and they go on to score 7 runs, hey, great. Congratulations, Dodgers. We'll see you tomorrow night. And I'm still not going to pitch to Shohei Ohtani. And he is, in my opinion, not going to beat me. There is nothing that I will allow. I will not allow him in any way, shape, or form to have an impact on this baseball game.
Well, and I think for tonight, the lineup card's out. So Ohtani is leading off, but Will Smith is sitting second behind him, followed by Freeman and Betts. And
Will Smith has been one of their best bats in this series.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, I don't know. Something tells me those top 2 aren't going to have a great night. I think that the meat of this lineup is where the productivity is coming from. Teoscar, Hernandez, Max Muncy, and Kike Hernandez. Those 3 guys.
Did they sign one of the monkeys that has herpes and escaped from that semi truck? I think that's just what you said.
What's wrong with you?
Are you breaking news on the show here?
No, I'm not.
Macaque.
I misspoke. My apologies.
Oh, you misspoke. Okay. You must be tired like Otani. Muncie got to wake up, dude. This is a guy that's built for this situation. Look at us talking baseball. Look at us talking baseball. I mean, it's not. Jake, are you excited that we're actually talking baseball?
Yeah, it's nice to talk something other than I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little disenfranchised with college football right now. I'm at that point where I'm like, all right, I'm tired of the Arch Manning narrative. I'm good. We've seen enough. We'll see you next year type material. I am ready for us to get a decision on whether BYU is legitimately a CFP team. and Texas Tech, whatever. You're either going to win the games or you're not, and the quarterback thing is going to go as you win the games. If you win the games, you made the right decision. Baron Morton's a hero. You guys play like crap.
So
Baron Morton's
you're just not here for it right now.
Well, it just is. It's just, I'm just a little burned on it right now, dude. Like I really enjoyed, and I don't know, this is what we do every year, I guess, but I really enjoyed watching the Austin Reeves buzzer beater. I really enjoyed some of the hoops that we had going on. Obviously, the World Series.
Who's Austin Reeves? Do you mean the White Mamba?
Yeah, the White Mamba.
Oh, the White Mamba.
Of headband.
He of thickness.
Yeah, he of length and girth.
I love Austin Reeves. Yeah, I am a little. I feel like there's been a lot of drama in college football this year, and I love college football. I'm kind of burned out on the bullshit. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of in this place where I just don't want to have to continue to talk about, this NIL and that firing and
this buyout.
I hate where college football is and where it's going.
Yes.
I really hate it. Let's talk about Caleb Williams sucks. Let's talk about
Mike McDaniel somehow, some way, on some other planet, on some other 3-eye atlas, surviving and keeping his job. How?
I just can't. I don't want to continue to hear about it. I don't want to continue to hear about it. Mookie has been disappointing at the plate.
But again, he's got to change his approach, dude. How many first pitch fastballs are you going to take right down the D?
And then swing like you're trying to hit the ball to Pacoima on the second pitch.
And then strike out looking to end the first inning every game.
They know he's not going to swing at that first pitch. They know it. So Gabriel, I have no idea how Mike kept his job.
No
idea. If you guys didn't see it, Miami fired their general manager. Champ Kelly's the interim, and Mike McDaniels is safe for the entire season. Like, what? How does that work? How does that work? And the answer is I have no idea how that works.
Well, I think the way it works is it's their opinion. It's their perspective. They somehow, some way, don't know how, can't explain how, they view it as not McDaniel's fault, that the GM has not done a good enough job and there's not enough talent there. And all I'm saying is, and if this is the GM's decision, I'm totally down with firing him. You guys were absolute buffoons for extending Tua and keeping him around. I don't know who made that decision or, what the thought was there, because I would, honest to God, rather have gone and got Mac Jones or just a decent get me over backup, even if I had to, then I'd rather taken a flyer on Carson Wentz, dude. I'd rather just gotten a guy that at least has shown some level of competency. Instead, you spend all this money And now we've got injuries, and we're just sitting here burning another season away
And
for a
what am I
team.
going to say about this again? How many shitty organizations are going to pay a quarterback too much money and not invest in the offensive line? How many? You've got wonderful wide receivers. You got a very good running back, a middle of the road quarterback, in my opinion, and you can't protect and you can't get him time because you don't want to have an offensive line. I'll never understand it. I don't get it. But hey, that's me. Big John says, who do you guys think? What do you guys think about college conferences that have their own streaming apps?
I just think everybody and your mom's got a streaming app, dude.
I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, like why do I care? Like, I'm not that much of an SEC fan or a Big 12 fan or an ACC fan or a Big 10 fan. I am not watching your game because you're a Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12, Mountain West. I mean, Pac-12. I mean, Mountain 12 team. That's not why I'm watching. I'm watching because there are college football playoff implications, and the loser is going home crying.
Yep. I just don't. Oh, well, then talk Epstein Island. No, we don't talk about people who facilitate sexual assault of children. I know it's that's just a policy we have here. I know it's weird, but yeah, how is Zach Robinson still in OC? OkState James wants him to be the new head coach. So, speaking of NASA, Kim K confirmed today that we have not landed on the moon. Did you see? She's getting crushed over this too. How many people are going to go flat Earth? We didn't land on the moon and repeatedly get kicked in the balls for it. Like, not even going to get fired at the end of the year. He will.
Well, I don't think that anyone's saying that, bro.
Yeah, no, he got the job for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at that. Texas versus Texas Tech is a real rivalry. It's a shame that game doesn't happen every year.
How is it a real rivalry?
It's not a real rivalry. It's not. They're on two absolutely different levels. Adding Oak State to the SEC would make sense. Who said that?
Yeah, what do you mean, dude?
Nobody said that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Gabriel, Mike McDaniel lost the locker room. They expect everyone to respect him because the GM got fired. I doubt that. I think it's incredibly difficult to be a Dolphins fan. I think what do you have to hang on to in Dolphinville? You got Baker. Hell, you've got Travis Hunter avoided an ACL. He got very lucky that he didn't tear his ACL. Guys can't play both sides of the football. And he's played inordinately more wide receiver. But Texas versus A&M night game for their final regular season game.
Closer to a rivalry, but still not a rivalry.
Actually, my top pick for Oak State head coach is Todd. God, do you ever?
So do we have to retread this conversation again? Like,
just one time, will you ever aim for Nick Saban? Garrett Riley. Will you ever aim for somebody who can actually, win a game? It's wild to me that you are so ready. How many Conference USA Tuesday, Wednesday games did you guys watch?
0.
Pretty much. TJ Beck, Monty, do not say his name, Oak State James. You know that brings doom by doing that. It does.
Doom.
It does. Horny James, the great killer of dreams. Mom's Sewing Circle is now on the new MSC channel. Okay.
Whatever that is.
Gumby says, I'd love to land on Kim K's moons. But
Bro.
would you? No, would
Dude.
you?
No.
Would you?
No. Hell no. No. Nope.
That'd be like smashing a Walmart manager. We all know nobody on this show would do.
Hey, look here, man.
Nope.
That.
Nope. Can't do it.
I
can't do it. Nope. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way two's about it, bro.
I have to go to the Target that I always talk about this weekend. And I'm not, if there's no show Monday, just know I didn't make it out of Target. Your boy got murked in Target. It's a real concern of mine. That'd be better than going to this stupid Target is better than landing on Kim K's moons. Because none of my body parts are going to fall off. All 3 of my lower extremities will be intact. Allegedly.
Such as in like.
And stuff. Dude, she smashed with Kanye or Yee or whatever the fuck his name is now. I'm not doing that.
Nah.
I'm not here for that. Motorboating on the moon could be. James enters the chat. Did you really say? You really, Scott, just when I think you actually had an okay week.
Dude.
You only said a couple of really stupid soul-crushing things. Bro, the SEC will never add Oklahoma State.
Never, ever.
In what, and I'm serious, when you're smoking crack to come up with the ideas that you come up with for this show, do you ask the Walmart manager to pour like just any kind of terrible, just Roundup? Do you say, hey, while I'm hitting this bowl, just pour some Roundup in there so that I can go to a different level of brain damage? I feel like that's what this statement is. Was the garage door stuck this morning after you started the Japo shit box? Is that what happened? You just couldn't, so you got a little extra
gas, no brake.
In what universe is the SEC adding Oklahoma State, who's not been relevant in college football for a decade?
Can you explain why that would even be a possibility?
And as a TCU fan, I would think you'd be fighting for TCU. I mean, I could be wrong.
But let me guess, you're not a TCU fan now.
No, now they're out of the running too. Now all of a sudden we're back to really bad football teams. Like, do you ever think about the stuff you say before you say it? Because this is akin to block the mountains at Utah so you can have more BDSM seating.
This is akin to Miss Teen USA South Carolina. That's what this is akin to. This is akin to you rolling up to a test question and having no unearthly idea what the answer is, dude.
Well, it is funny. We do have exclusive video. And it is video that here on the show. I'm stalling because I can't find it. Oh my God. Oh, here it is. We have exclusive video of OkState James formulating his takes for the show.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries. So we
and such as in like in
Iraq
with OkState James.
It just never gets old, bro. Dude, it never gets old. OkState James, the Iraq.
Everywhere, like, and such as. Okay,
and
Mommy,
the SEC doesn't have maps, such as and like.
Mommy, such as and like and stuff.
Iraq.
I was praying to my God, Mike Gundy, incarnate word, and he was telling me.
I personally believe.
I'm a man.
There are good games that we don't get to see anymore.
Oh, please, dude. This is what you're reading the YouTube TV playbook, bro. We do still get to see these games. They're on the ESPN app, brother. Come on.
Notice you didn't say Oklahoma.
Yeah, next question.
Notice because, okay, Oak State, Texas, who's way better. Mizzou, way better. Texas A&M, way better. Texas A&M, Oak State, Texas A&M, Texas Tech. Well, all three of those teams are better. TCU, Oklahoma, better. TCU, Texas. Bro, James is still talking. Stop choosing violence, James. Good Lord, man. Group. Go to group. I have to go charting. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's better for your safety.
Actually, Monty, we've obtained exclusive video of Dana explaining how she's actually real and not an OkState James burner account.
Monty freaking dog! James, I don't know how you put yourself in these positions, but you do.
Direct.
Seemingly every day, you find a way to just screw yourself into the ground.
I mean, it's incredible, bro. It is. I mean, your ability needs to be studied, honestly.
You are the kind of monkey that I think probably has.
We don't need proof, dude. We know it's you, okay?
Please show whatever proof you have. I don't have a burner account. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you.
Such as in like, okay?
And stuff.
Direct.
Okay.
Man, dude.
Admit that the original Big 12 was a really good conference. Okay, is somebody?
Bro, what do you have a gun to our head, dude? Like, what is this?
Jake, you did this. You did this. You empowered this guy. He's also, I believe, this guy. But I could be wrong. You empowered this guy right here, Jake.
And there she is. There's Dana right there at the bottom. Look at that. Look at that. And then just suddenly appears.
Just out of nowhere. OkState Dana has appeared.
Suddenly appears out of nowhere as if she found her map.
Such as in like. But it just, I don't know, Monty.
Yeah, it's so predictable, dude. It's so predictable. Every time we reference Pixar mom, I mean Dana, I mean Dawn,
Dana,
I mean
wait, Dana, why have you not sent a picture of yourself to Jake? Is it because James hasn't had time to get on ChatGPT and make one? Is that what it is?
I personally believe that I am a real person.
Dana, come on, disprove the rumors.
We need you to do this, honestly. Yeah.
Listen, all you have to do, we offered you a clean CR. All you have to do is, that's a government shutdown joke. See, that's a clean, that's a government shutdown joke. That is a government shutdown joke, you poor fucks. That is the best I can do. Tony Lee, can this show talk sports? The OkState James stuff gets old and not funny. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Weak signal in the trunk.
See, now that's material right there, dude. And James, if this is you, I commend you.
Dude, what? Dude, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Because that's where James moved the rectory.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
that's exactly the point. Why does Dana suddenly appear every time that James is near? Right?
I don't know.
Let me tell you what.
Listen, I want Dana to be real with the small part of her anatomy that she has shown. Who's not a fan, right? Who's not a fan of the Pixar mom?
Yeah, I mean,
something tells me that's ChatGPT from the rectory.
And hey, let me check my Instagram DMs really quick. Maybe, maybe we have something here. Let's see. Checking the requests. It turns out there's no requests. Who knew?
You can find Jake right there. SLC Jake _ Dana. The ball is in your court.
Yeah.
Sign the clean CR. Reopen the Monty Show.
Yeah, the Democrats are not holding you back. There's no reason not to.
James better not build an upper deck to block that view. You can't tell me they're not the same. TJ Beck, Dana is about as real as Kim's Moons. Exactly. Viasat is an internet company, is available everywhere in the U.S. Okay.
You mean Starlink?
Starlink, such as in the Iraq. That's an excuse. Exactly. Get out of the trunk, Dana. I know Hank Voigt. I can send him to rescue you.
Yep.
You know. OkState James. Come on, admit. Look at the 12th. Dude, nobody is arguing the point. Stop. Like do you realize this is what you do? You say something really stupid like Oak State's getting into the SEC. No, they're not. And then it's like, did you know the mosquitoes will never bite your testicles?
I don't.
Come on. Admit it, you hate when mosquitoes bite you in the testicle.
I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Oh, no, though, Monty's right. Too much LSD. And then you're like, I miss the old Big 12. Like, whoever said they didn't like the old Big 12? It was an amazing teams. Right? Like, whatever.
No, you're not, James.
That's a lie.
Okay, let's review. Let's just review, okay? So, hold on. You made your SEC comment. Then you disappeared off of this account, and Dana shows up. Now she's disappeared. Now all of a sudden you're charting. We can put butthole and butthole together, okay?
So
we
you're
know what's going on
right now.
Yeah, exactly. Notice homegirl said it's noisy in the trunk, and she's got poor reception because you're on the way to the rectory with her right now. Come on.
Oh, James. Dude, you put yourself in some corners that just aren't necessary. Like, dude, we're building a stadium in the Black Mountains in Utah.
That's the untrained eye.
As McCoy would say to Kirk, damn it, James, where is Spock to take over? Somebody, you need the Walmart manager to take your phone away. Where's your wife right now, dude? Thank you. For what? The SEC is better now because they took the best teams from the Big 12.
Dude, well, you're trying to manufacture.
Oak State held the door open for Texas and Oklahoma. Let's not forget that.
I just would like to point out, James, you keep going back to the SEC thing. We're still talking about your burner, even though you don't want to talk about that. I'm just trying to point that out here, dude.
Truth. Dana's in the trunk. James is charting. Yeah, it's Friday on the Monty Show.
Yeah,
and we actually have somebody who's like, dude, you guys need to talk sports. This Oak State James stuff gets old. No, it doesn't.
It is what it is.
No, it doesn't. If you only knew. If you only knew. Speaking of which, all right, let's get into the games. Hit the like button if you are one of the 7,000 people watching the show. Make sure that you come over to YouTube. Hit the like button. Give us a subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Let's come back and talk about Nick Saban and LSU, and then we will preview Cincinnati and Utah, Texas Tech and K-State, Vandy and Texas, USC and Nebraska, and Dana's escape from the trunk of the Gapo shitbox. What are you laughing about?
Dude, just people are like, James, it's okay to have a burner, bro. You don't have to ask permission.
This show is so out of pocket. All right, let's come back and talk some football next on the Monty Show.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And I, with sincerity, I tell you this every single day. The Advocates are in your community. We saw that yesterday on this show. We raised over $1,000 to feed the hungry. And the thing that really stands out, the thing that you know, is that the Advocates genuinely care because they put their money where their mouth is. They are working in our communities. And when you get into an accident, they are working for you. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. You need that on a video call. You need that in person. You need that live online. You can chat with an injury attorney 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And the best part is they are not going to ask you to scratch a check. No, friends, you don't pay the advocates out of pocket. In fact, you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. Hand them the claims process. They will give you clear, risk-free advice. They will fight the fight so you can get back to the best version of yourself at theadvocates.com. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's talk about Nick Saban to LSU. Just right out of the gate. Should LSU hire Nick Saban again, Jake?
Yes. If he's available, yes.
If he will take the job, you think the right thing to do?
Yes, it's the right thing to do.
Okay, and just based on what? How do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, just as far as Nick Saban is concerned, I think that Nick Saban checks a lot of boxes for LSU. So obviously, we've spent the majority of this week on the program talking about, the governor of Louisiana injecting himself into the LSU head coaching situation. And, a lot of that conversation had been about the fact that the former AD at LSU was not good at his job, and he was not amused that the Brian Kelly buyout was $53 million. And so the reason I think Nick Saban, checks a lot of those boxes is, number one, obviously the experience and the resume. Nobody's going to question Nick Saban or his ability to do a job, right? So that's number one. Number two, I think that from a political standpoint, the deal that you could do with Nick Saban checks the box for the governor. So Nick Saban's not interested in 5 to 7 year deals or long-term plays or anything like that, right? He's retired right now. There's been a ton of smoke about him unretiring for different jobs since he's decided to retire. This is the latest opportunity. And I think that, Nick Saban going back to LSU for 2 years, let's say, with a third-year option, with no buyout, and with the intent of grooming the next head coach of LSU to follow him, I think just works, because that allows LSU to have a person to kind of shepherd the football program on the field through this time of, hey, we got rid of Brian Kelly. We're, obviously we paid the buyout, but also we want to figure out our long-term solution, our Ryan Day, our Kirby Smart, our longer-term guy. And so if Nick Saban can do that, and while also, allowing the governor to say, hey, we totally changed the contract and I'm the hero that everyone deserves, I just think that works really well for everyone involved. And that's why I think the Nick Saban to LSU thing has legs just as far as Nick Saban is concerned.
I don't think Nick Saban's available. I think that LSU has pitched him hard. There are reports that there is a belief that this whole thing with the governor of Louisiana has done real damage to LSU football. And I think when you listen to him talk, I think it's awfully difficult to argue that.
You need to start looking at who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodard's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like, you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now.
I just, the ridiculousness of that. And if that wasn't bad enough, this rant on the Pat McAfee show, I don't know how you ever recover from this.
Listen, emphatically, I am not picking the coach. That is not my job. The only reason I'm really involved, Pat, is because this contract that currently is between the state of Louisiana, the Louisiana State University system, and Brian Kelly leaves the taxpayers of the state State on the bill. There's misinformation out there. People are saying, oh, no, the taxpayers aren't liable. They're not reading the contract. On Sunday, I had a meeting with the lawyers as they were talking about whether or not Brian Kelly was terminated, whether we were going to fire him. And all I cared about were the taxpayers of our state. And that contract binds the state of Louisiana. If we have to pay $53 million and somebody else doesn't step up to foot that bill, the state of Louisiana has to foot that bill. That is in the contract.
I think he's done real damage to that football program. And I'm not even sure how you argue it, frankly. And I think when you hear Nick Saban, I don't believe that even Nick Saban can overcome what the governor's done here. I think it was a huge misstep. Now, of course, the big update today at LSU is that obviously they fired their athletic director. Osbury's been fully empowered now to make the hire and select the next head coach. And there is belief that Nick Saban will not be the next head coach, but will have significant input on who that is. And I think that's how this should be. Nick Saban recruiting the next head coach for LSU football is far better than Nick Saban being the next head coach of LSU football. If you're Nick Saban, there is no reason to risk your legacy on that situation. And I think Nick is acutely aware of that. Now, between $15 and $20 million, that's awfully difficult to turn down. But I don't believe that Nick Saban wants anything to do with coaching this team right now and by extension in the future. But I think Nick Saban very much is the right guy and would love to have a hand in recruiting the next head coach at LSU.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think that having a hand in recruiting the next head coach is absolutely happening. I for sure. I just think it's a question of how LSU wants to go about this and what the governor's really like behind closed doors, because I don't buy for a second that the governor's not directly involved and trying to swing a big stick here. I think that the governor is doing exactly what politicians do, saying, hey, I'm not involved. This isn't me, even though I appointed everyone on that board, and they're going to bring me a list of candidates and I'm going to decide who it is, and then they're going to vote the way I want them to. No, it's not me. It's the board. But again, we know what happens here. So if it's Saban, the governor, and the fully empowered interim AD, okay, cool. That works. That little triangle of death works. And my only question is if you're Lane Kiffin, do you want anything to do with this? Because obviously Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban go way back. I think it's pretty definitive that Dan Lanning is not particularly interested, whether you like that or not. I don't think you're doing, it's one thing to say it in a press conference in front of a team logo. It's another thing to go on a radio interview nationally and say you're not interested at all, even a little bit. So I'm for now crossing Dan off the list and saying he's made his bet as far as this situation is concerned.
Yeah.
And for me, I just think the only real question is what's it going to take to get Lane to take this job? Because after Lane, with all due respect to Drinkwitz or any of these other guys, I'm not particularly interested in that. And
it feels like anybody but Lane Kiffin is a miss.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
And what it also feels like is that LSU doesn't, because of what the governor has said, and because of the climate of what's gone on now that Brian Kelly's gone, you're talking about, Lane Kiffin doing his absolute best work at Ole Miss right now to get them to the CFP and to go where he wants to go with that program, only to leave and have to, basically move that pipeline over to LSU. And that's what I think is, if you're Lane Kiffin, that you have to really think about here. There's no question the LSU job's a better job than Ole Miss. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I think
there's no question it's a better job than Florida, but not when Jeff Landry's the governor of Louisiana. Yeah. Not when you have this kind of debauchery where the governor in a public forum fires the athletic director. I think he's done irreparable harm. Frankly, honestly, I think Jeff Landry's done incredible harm to that state. I truly do. Can you imagine Governor Cox doing this to Kalani or to Kyle Whittingham? Can you imagine? But I also think to counter that point, I think this is a statement about how important LSU football is to Louisiana. I think it's incredibly important there. I think to the people of Louisiana, and there are a lot of poor, struggling people everywhere in this country right now. But that's magnified in Louisiana. You look at the people in New Orleans and New Orleans Parish and the parishes around New Orleans, and those are some poor folks. LSU football is a bright light. And to bring disrepute to LSU football is to bring disrepute to the state of Louisiana. And I think this was a huge, huge mistake. And frankly, what it did is I think it cost you more money to hire whoever you're going to hire, because they're going to have to wade through probably 3 feet of BS to get to their office and their desk every day. And that should come at a cost, in my opinion.
Yes.
And
I agree.
I think Lane Kiffin, if I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm taking the Florida job. I'll be honest with you. I want nothing to do with this situation in Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the other hard part with the money, to what you're saying, is like with the 3 feet of BS that you got to walk through to get to your desk. Like,
that's right.
This whole like mindset around lowering buyouts and not doing buyouts, like, good luck being the guy that actually gets that done with a Lane Kiffin level candidate. I mean, Lane can sit here and I'm not calling Lane's integrity into question by any means, but you can sit here on Pat McAfee and talk about how money doesn't mean anything. And you can say that you've never made a decision on money in your life when that's total crap. We all do it every day. But the reality is if they're not going to offer you a buyout, they will have to offer you something in lieu of that. So if you're not going to offer me a buyout and guarantee my contract, then what are you guaranteeing me? What level of commitment are you going to have? Because you don't get to hire Lane Kiffin on a 2-year deal. You're hiring Lane Kiffin on a 5-year deal. Simple as that. And I'm guessing if, Jimmy does Jimmy things, you're going to have, a pretty sizable buyout at the end of the day that the governor's going to have to figure out how to spin. Like, that's what it is. I don't know how else you're going to get this done, dude.
I think, do you guys understand how good LSU football is? Do you understand how readily available a turnaround there is? Do you understand how great that job is when it's great? It might be the best job in the country when it's the best job in the country. And
right now that's a struggle, dude. That's a struggle.
You have fallen so far away from who you are and what you are because you hired Brian Kelly. And I talked about this on the show when he was hired. Brian Kelly never felt like LSU football. And I think you're just not what you should be. And that sucks. That's hard to say. That's hard to deal with. But that's the reality of your situation. And it's because you have a climate like this where you're just lost in the sauce at this point. And again, I don't know how you fix it. Midweek Coug, money still talks. LSU will just have to pay more now. I totally agree.
Yeah, but I agree with that sentiment. But at the end of the day, if we're going to sit here and make comments like money still talks, Florida's got money too. And Florida's not LSU, but Florida's a hell of a lot further along in terms of being a simple job that you can go in there and do what you need to do versus LSU. And that'd be my biggest single concern if I was Lane Kiffin. Hey, if I'm Lane Kiffin and I'm going to take the LSU job, hey, how many days a week is the governor going to crawl up my butthole to know what I'm doing on the football field? How many days a week is the governor's assistant going to walk into my office and say, yeah, you know what, dude? You lost that game to Georgia by a field goal, and, you do that again, you're getting fired, and might I remind you don't have a buyout.
Hi, it's the governor's secretary, Dana. Yeah, we're going to need you to come down to the office and watch tape with the governor because you guys, that third down zero blitz, he's going to need a breakdown of that. What time can you be here, coach? Can you imagine if
that's what I'm saying? Like, why would you And I'm not. I probably should have looked. I don't know how long the governor's term is in Louisiana. The governor.
The governor.
But I just like LSU obviously has to hire somebody.
Yeah.
And the problem now is, not to belabor the point, it's not just that you've damaged the program, right? It's not just that, hey, LSU,
Which you have.
But it's not just that you've damaged the program. Now it's that, hey, well, if you're not able to overcome this buffoonery by the governor, this just word vomit of an explanation around what we're doing here,
dude,
then it's like, hey, bro, if you are underwhelming with who you hire after you fired Brian Kelly, that doesn't make Brian Kelly look bad, dude. That makes you look bad and makes it look like this came all the way from the day that Edo decided to put homegirl on the football field.
What happened to my light? Where's my remote for the light? And why did it turn off?
Monty.
Here's my remote. Why did my light turn off? There we go. And why is it white? Come on now.
It changed colors a while ago.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you guys like do you like the white?
No, I mean, we're talking LSU. We got to get the purple back. Come on.
Okay, there's the orange. There's the red. Hello. Come on.
That's looking like Texas orange, bro.
What's wrong with that? It's taking some time here. There we go. There we go.
See, I just think reputationally LSU is on a very precarious hill here, bro. Very slippery slope.
Yeah. Yeah. Big blue horses. Florida is a better job a month ago. No. Today and a month from now, when you look at the talent-based booster endowment NIL, see, but this is, I know you're a Florida fan. We adjudicated this matter. I can tell you, and Jake did a bunch of research on the budgets and the available revenue.
Mm-hmm.
LSU dwarfs Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And
so LSU is in the 220s for revenue, right? So that's not profit, that's revenue. But Oregon is sub 200 for revenue. And the interesting part about it is that the profit margin, hey, we made $1, but we're only taking home 80 cents, is actually incredibly similar. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's like LSU, after looking at the reports, like LSU made like 228 or whatever it was and took home like or their costs were like 224 or something. They took home like 3 or 4 million. And Oregon was about the same in terms of take home, just way less revenue. And the reason for that is mostly because the donor base is incredibly small for Oregon compared to LSU, right? There's a reason that 90% of the streets and the buildings around Autzen are named after like 3 people. So, it's not rocket science. And I think everyone, and this is what you've been saying, right? Everyone wants to point to Phil Knight and Nike, and they don't understand that yes, LSU has the Nike money, but LSU also just has a very deep donor pool. So I get it, Florida fan. I get it. You think you have a deep donor pool, but the difference is that just 5 years ago now, 21 was the last time you won a natty, I believe it was.
Yep.
Under Edo with Joe Burrow and them. It's not been a long time. I mean, it's only been like 4.5 years. Like, that's not a long time, bro. So I look at LSU and I say, this program took a left turn into the ditch when Edo decided to let homegirl on the football field, and you haven't been the same since.
Well, and I think you look at LSU's money. LSU is in the $1 billion or $100 million revenue annually, just on football. Just on football. Florida is not in that ballpark. Now, they may be once the swamp renovation's done, which I'm surprised OkState James has not brought up, but hey, I don't want to bait anybody. Right now, there's the haves and the have-nots. And when you look at LSU and you look at the value of LSU, I think LSU is probably, I mean, the most valuable program in the SEC is Texas. I don't think anybody really argues that. I think they were valued at over $2.25 billion. Far and away, I think Georgia was second. I'm pretty sure Bama was third and Oklahoma was fourth. But in that report, and I'm sure I can pull that up, in that report, it talked about LSU being the sixth and final $100 million per year school in football revenue. And Florida's just not in that, not in that realm. And you look at Florida, and I understand that it's big money. Nobody is saying they don't have money. And I actually think it's really close. But I think that you have to figure out how to win national championships at Florida. Then you can get into this conversation. You have to win national championships in the modern era. And it's a pretty long dry spell right now for Florida. And it seems like LSU is always in that conversation. And again, once the swamp is renovated and completely done, I mean, it's going to be a palace. It might be the nicest complex, the most modern complex in the SEC, and really in the entire. I mean, it's tough to beat some of the facilities around the country, but Florida is going to be there. It's going to be close. And I think you have to figure out how to make more money if you're Florida. And I think LSU and Florida revenue-wise are pretty close, but the donor dollars at LSU, they got that old money, boy. So,
James, why are you sending me pictures of renderings of Florida Stadium right now? That's not what we asked for. I did not ask you for that. I asked you for pictures of Dana Marie, since she's in your trunk, allegedly.
It is what it is. But no, I do not think Nick Saban's the right hire there. I truly do not. Cincinnati at Utah. Look at the numbers on this game, you guys. Let's get into the games. Jake, how surprised are you with this number?
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by this number. It's not that Utah sucks or I think poorly of them. I just think that, we've seen this story before. Hey, you're playing, you're going to Utah, night game, obviously different than Texas Tech. That was a day game. This is a night game, but 10.5 points. You're saying that they're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns at that point, right? Because home team gets 3 usually. So you're saying, hey, 13.5 is the number here or the line. And I don't know where they're getting that from, but I would be taking Cincinnati to cover that, and I would definitely be taking the under.
I think Utah is happy to get into a game of, here, I punched you in the face, get back up. I think that's what this is going to be. I think Utah wants to control the flow of this game. I think Utah wants to control the clock in this game. I think that it is going to be amazing, and I think Cincinnati hasn't proven much this year. If we're being brutally honest about who the Cincinnati Bearcats are, their best win is Iowa State, and I think that's saying something. I think it is one of the few teams that Utah is one of the few teams that can absolutely grind your face off and then hit you with a big play to demoralize you. And I think you're going to see that. I think Cincinnati's biggest feather in their cap here is they're excellent against the run. Their numbers don't lie. I think that Cincinnati, my question is, can Cincinnati cause turnovers? Because Utah doesn't generally turn the ball over a lot. And I think to win this game, Jake, Cincinnati's got to get a turnover at least.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I think that, you know, both of these teams have a ton to play for too. Obviously it's a high leverage game, and I think that, you know, it would go a long way to Cincinnati's cause if they were able to beat Utah. But you know what kind of terrifies me with this game is, you know, I'm always saying, hey, you know, Rice Eccles is a tough place to go and play. You know, Rice Eccles, tough place to go and play. Utah hasn't found a way to win a home game in the Big 12 yet. So I think it's like 0-7 so far. I think it
Yeah.
is. Home games in the Big 12. You haven't won yet or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm very much struggling with confidence in Utah in this game. This feels like you should beat the hell out of this team. It's at home. It's at night. It's going to be chilly. Like you should win this game if you're Utah. But 10.5 just feels like a massive number against a team that's got a ton to play for.
Yeah, I think first of all, Utah's beaten Arizona State and Colorado in Utah. So they do have Big 12 wins, jackwagon.
Okay, 2 wins. How many have they lost?
86. I think the hard part is with this game, Utah's defense is one of the best in the country. But Cincinnati likes to play fast, right? Is Utah truly one of the best defenses in the country? There's no question about that. Here's the problem, though. 2 of their most dominant games were Cal Poly and Colorado. Those are not good football teams. The Utes won those 2 games 116-16. And they've gotten 17 sacks in those 2 games. Now we're going to find out. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this happens. And the season for Utah, their defensive numbers scare me. They're 52nd in run defense, 93rd in tackling. And how many times have we seen Utah get beat by missing a tackle? 74th in coverage. How many times do I have to say Utah's secondary is susceptible? Worries you a little bit. This is not your typical Kyle Whittingham defense. I would point out that Cincinnati's 4-1 against the spread this season. Cincinnati's 7-4 against the spread in ranked matchups since 2019. And Cincinnati has 6 straight against the spread losses in November, going back to 2023. I think Utah's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns at home. I love the Utes tomorrow.
Yeah. You need to take the Utes in this game.
You sound really disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed. I'm not confident in Utah. I'm not. I think that it's a game they should win. Absolutely. It's a game they should win. But when I hear you say things like, hey, they don't generally turn the football over. Yeah, well, the last time I watched them in a big game at home, they turned the football over a bunch. And I would agree generally they don't. Generally speaking, they don't. But I don't know. I just want to see Utah go in. This is what I said about BYU and East Carolina earlier this year. I want to see Utah come out in this game, establish the run, dominate them on defense, and handle your business. If you win this game 27-10, 27-17, okay, great. I won't doubt you again this year. But I just don't feel like...
Yeah, you will. Yeah,
I don't feel like Utah is 10 points, 13, 14 points better than this team right now. And I think they need to prove that. So I would say, yeah, Utah is going to win. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati's definitely going to cover. And I think it goes under.
I think it's over. Cincinnati scores points. Utah scores points. The question is, will Cincinnati have enough possessions, and can their defense get Utah off the field? That's a big question. That is a huge question. I think this is the game of the year for Kyle Whittingham, and we're going to say that every week.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
yeah.
You know, Monty, when Jake asked how many losses does Cincinnati have, you said 87. That's wrong. It's 6-7. 6-7. Okay. Cincinnati has to deal with travel and altitude. Altitude also plays a massive factor. I don't know if they can play 4 quarters fast. Gooby, Utah has literally won back-to-back Big 12 games at home. See, Jake, you just don't know you don't know ball.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know ball.
Mm-hmm.
If Utah comes out and played like they did against Texas Tech, Cincinnati can beat them. Absolutely. For sure. James says 31-24 Cincinnati will lose to Utah. So Utah's going to lose tomorrow. Okay. I like it. Sorsby lost to Nebraska. Does he have another one in him? I mean, what he does away from the field is up to him. Isn't the ever-present question whether this is Kyle Whittingham's last season? No. I wouldn't say it's ever-present. Utah wins, I think, by 2 touchdowns. Will that be the story for Texas Tech and Manhattan, Kansas? Where Kansas State is a 7.5-point home dog. 51.5, 230, Fox. I am very interesting to see how this game plays out. I think this game's gonna come down to the red zone. That's the whole kit and caboodle. I think that Texas Tech has not been great on the offensive side of the ball, finishing drives with touchdowns. I'm really curious to see, does Texas Tech kick field goals or score touchdowns in the red zone? Because I think you have got to score touchdowns in the red zone. And I think one of the things that's really interesting is K-State is dominating turnover margins in the last couple of weeks here. And Texas Tech is not a team that turns the ball over. K-State does not turn the ball over much either. But then my guy, Jacob Rodriguez, I mean, I'm telling you, if you don't know that name, Google it. You should know it. They're so good at turning people over. They're so good technique-wise, punching the ball out, stripping the football. I think that's going to be it's red zone and turnovers. And I don't love Avery Johnson against really good defenses. And breaking news, Texas Tech has a really good defense. K-State needs Avery Johnson to play the way that he has played lately. And Jake, I'm going to guess you don't believe he can do that against this defense.
I don't. I think that I know it was Oklahoma State, so grain of salt. But you blanked Oklahoma State. Like, I don't care who you are, a field goal in a football game is totally doable. And so to me, I look at this game and I'm not giving K-State much credit at all. I think that Avery's good for 2 picks in this game. I think that alone is going to put probably, getting quarterback issues. We'll see what it looks like. But, you throw 2 picks in this game, that's probably 10 points you just gave them, honestly.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because he has thrown 2 picks all season. And I think the thing that should worry you if you're a K-State fan is what I always say. Avery's great against shitty football teams. I look at his games, obviously the Iowa State game, 273 and 2 scores. And he had a rushing touchdown, I believe, in that game for 3 touchdowns. But then you look at the Army game, 15 and 25, he completes 60% of his passes. Okay, then we go to the Arizona game, 13 and 29 for 88 yards. 44% of his passes were complete. Oh, okay, well, we're going to bounce back and we're going to blow out UCF, and he's going to complete 72% of his passes. And Baylor, he has a massive game, throws the ball 45 times, 64% of his passes. Like, the teams they've faced are Kansas, TCU, Baylor, UCF. In this stretch where you felt better, and they lost the Baylor game. So you feel better but none of them are even half as good as Texas Tech is right now defensively. And I look at Baylor, and I think Baylor is downright not good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a game where Avery Johnson can say, I salvaged my season because of how well I played against Texas Tech. But then you have to ask yourself, yeah, but will he? And I am not the guy that's confident that Avery Johnson will. And I think this is a hugely important game for Texas Tech. And I think Texas Tech knows that because Baron Morton, and I know that Tech fans disagree with me on this, Baron Morton has to re-earn the respect of his football team. He has to show them that he can lead them into a hostile environment and that he can win them a football game. Because K-State's not going to lay down. K-State's not going to go away. They're going to fight hard the entire game. This is one of those games where Texas Tech is clearly the better football team. I didn't see that in the Arizona State game. I told you that before that game, and I told you I was worried about that game. I very clearly see a Texas Tech team that is just better across the board. They should win this game comfortably. And I think that 51.5 goes over. I think when you start looking at what Baron Morton does to defenses when he's playing confident football, and he will, I think there's a chance that this could be a 30-something to 20-something Texas Tech win, and I feel pretty comfortable saying that.
Same, 35-21. And I think that turnovers help them. I think that Barron has a nice showing. Not a lot on the line in this game, in my opinion, outside of your season, which is every week for these teams, I feel like. And, I do think for Baron Morton personally that he has something to prove. I mean, you can't tell me this guy isn't paying attention to the Will Hammond smoke, right? Obviously, Will's done, but it would be good for Baron Morton to basically just go in there, prove why, shut the haters up, take back control.
Shut the haters up.
And do that. So to me, I get that K-State basically had carbon copy performances. TCU 41-28, Kansas 42-17. 40 points back-to-back weeks. But this defense is nothing to mess with, and that's why I just don't trust Avery to perform well against this defense. I just think they're fast, they are opportunistic to say the least. And they're disciplined. And I think that kind of defense gives this guy trouble.
The 6-7 stuff is played out already.
6-7.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, he's just saying it to be obnoxious because it's fun.
Yeah. K-State 21, Texas Tech 20. So you're predicting that the season comes to an end for Joey and the boys in Manhattan.
21.
Yeah, they don't win there very often and haven't. I think it's more than 10 years. I was reading this morning. Randy writing, damn you, James, keep Utah out your mouth, boy. Exactly right. They have to score touchdowns and score them early. I think that's it, dude. And as much as I have been wrong about Bear Bachmeier, I've been right on with Avery Johnson. That cat cannot throw you to a win. And if Texas Tech doesn't kick field goals tomorrow, they're going to win this game comfortably. Comfortably. Tech hasn't won in Manhattan in over a decade. Well, it's a different football team. No doubt. No doubt. Randy, if you add up my score, it's exactly 55, which is half a point off the over-under. I didn't even see that until after I hit enter. Well. James is very talented. Is Saban coming back? Wouldn't shock me, but he's only got 3-4 years in him at most. I don't think I think that the people that we were speaking to were saying it was a 3-year kind of bridge situation. And ideally it'd be 2 seasons. And he would move into a consultative role after that. which he already has at Bama. But I maintain it's gotten too ugly now. Nick Saban's not going to put himself in that situation. I just don't think that he'll put himself in that situation. Johnny Gonzalez, track meet in Bill Snyder Family Stadium this Saturday in Manhattan, Kansas. I don't disagree. Thank you, Jake. That's exactly what I said. Aw. It's nice to see you bros back in sync.
Dude, no. Stop.
Okay.
Still waiting for Dana Marie to show up.
It worries me because Avery broke out against this Texas Tech team 2 years ago, and now we may have the better, but these games aren't what K-State lives for, are what K-State. You're significantly better than you've been in how long? Even before the Connex box. Probably too much. Probably too much. This is going to be like a bowl game for K-State, but Texas Tech should withstand K-State unless Morton hears a who and lays an egg. Dude, it worries me. Why does Jake hate Utah? I agree. Jake hates Utah. Utah. Well, he's an Oregon fan now, Greg. Isn't that right, Jake?
Yeah, man. Wow. Dude. Yep.
Where your whistle's wet.
Yeah. You know.
Go Ducks.
Yeah.
You know. Is it kosher with Allah for men of cloth to gamble? Okay.
What are you talking about, bro?
No idea. Utah's odds get Jay Hill to come back to the Hill and take over as DC when Witt retires and Scally is head coach. I don't think good. I think Jay Hill needs to be a head coach soon.
Why would he leave his post for anything other than a head coaching position?
I don't think he would. I really don't think he would. You know, we need to. I'm sorry. All the coaches fired would make better DCs than Gunther at UNLV. Please save us. Well, I think there's a real interesting. I did a radio interview in Las Vegas this morning talking about attendance. And I do think it's very interesting that UNLV, who's very good, is not drawing big numbers. I'm very curious why that is. And I think it's probably the market. Las Vegas is a very transactional market. So, Aggie, honestly, I thought Jake was a Utah fan when I first started watching this show, so it's refreshing to hear him not pick them. Not sure what others are on about. Well, I'm a Notre Dame fan. So, rectally speaking, I don't know.
This is an SEC show, so I don't know where you got that from.
Yeah, I'm really not sure.
Such as in like.
My doctor is so good. You okay over there, Jake?
No, I'm gassed, bro. No, I'm gassed.
Are you really?
Yes, I am tired.
Yeah, my doctor sent me a message because I've been trying to get blood work done, but I have zero time to do that during the week. Zero. Like it ain't happening. And so I said, it just sucks that One Medical isn't open during the week and on the weekend, only during the week. She just sent me a message. Hey, it turns out the lab right by your house is going to be open this Saturday. Let's get the work done. Love it. Love it.
Solutions-based company, brother.
Damn right. Okay, real quick. Last game that we're going to pick. Jake was when I want you guys to understand my life. I get into the studio. Jake lives in Eugene, Oregon, so we don't live in the same place. And I get into the studio and Jake is all Diddy party. He's got the baby oil. He's got whatever you were doing with those powder donuts and the ring thing, and you were
I was getting handsy like Dan's wife.
You were playing rings with powdered donuts, only you were throwing them straight up in the. It was weird
and girth,
And he's like, "Oh, come on, oh Arch, I love you. Oh yeah." And
the biggest load that we've seen.
Jake was excited to pick Vanderbilt today. Why do you hate Texas all of a sudden, Jake?
I don't hate Texas. I
hate Arch Manning.
I don't respect Arch Manning, dude. He needs development.
I don't respect Arch Manning.
Development. He is not good enough to go out and get them a win. simply by playing well against good teams, which Vanderbilt
I don't
is.
respect Arch Manning. Really? Okay.
You want to talk about who did you say this about? He hasn't had a game, he has had moments.
Yes.
That is Arch Manning to a T. And I think that Vanderbilt is a team that talked a bunch of junk on Kalen DeBoer and Ty Simpson and Roll Tideland and got that ass beat. The only problem is I don't think that Texas can do the same thing that Bama did, and that's what has me terrified of this game for Texas.
Texas is hanging on by a thread, boys. Like, they're 6-2. You can't lose 3. And I think what is fascinating is Texas can't run the football. Texas cannot run the football. The running game is broken. And I think one of the things that's very interesting is this defense tends to go to sleep. But I think that Texas is uniquely built to beat Diego Pavia's ass. I love Texas in this game. Fast defense, fast physical linebackers. We come in.
Length and girth.
I'm telling you. And maybe I should have the Diddy party. I don't know.
Yeah, where's all your baby oil at, bro?
I'm telling you, bruh. Texas has the defense to win this game and beat Pavia ass. Notice I'm not saying that they have the quarterback because they probably don't. But he will, Arch Manning, who Jake hates and does not respect, will determine this game because the defense is built to beat Diego Pavia. When you're fast and physical up front, Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator of Texas, preaches discipline by his linebackers, their gap sound, their assignment sound, and their edge setters up front at Texas. That's what Diego Pavia does not want to see on a regular basis. But where did he see that? I believe he saw that against Alabama. Roll Tide. Those defenses are very similar. I think Pavia will struggle. But here's my point. That was Ty Simpson. This is not. And I think in this game, whoever gets to 21 points first wins the game. I think it's Texas. Hook 'em. God damn it. 27-17, Texas beats Vanderbilt.
Which Texas team do we get?
Oh, God, here we go.
Do we get Mississippi State, Texas, where we're going to overtime against a team that's way below us?
I'm just going to go to my Zen place while you rip Arch Manning.
Yeah. Are we going to get Kentucky, Texas, who scored less than 21 points?
Kentucky.
I don't know, but what I'm telling you is Texas should win this game.
God damn you.
Texas should win this game, but Vanderbilt's covering the spread.
Did I
the number
you as a child? I mean, is this just the millennial, like, I hate my parents, so I'm going to say stupid things about Texas? Is that what this part of the show is? Bro, you understand that they beat Kentucky because they showed the heart of a long
24-21 Texas.
They showed
Andy covers. It goes under.
They didn't
Arch has a pick.
They didn't let that cowboy ride him.
Arch has a pick.
Cowboy off.
Diego Pavia finishes the game in the blue tent.
Kentucky. They did not succumb to the greatness of the Wildcats in Lexington. I'm not really sure what I'm doing right now. I was very much Don Johnson from Django Unchained, that motif right there. We will not be defeated by the North, boy.
The victory has already been won.
Okay. Dance music, let's go. That's right. enough of that garbage. Daniel Dixon. I lived in Texas in 82 to 89, and I'm still not a Texan. Don't hook him, boy.
Hey, boy.
Monty rant 1000%. Could be. Did I miss Dodger talk? You did. Vandy is better than Mississippi State and Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Okay. 24-21 Vandy. Ooh. Nick is happy, not going to LSU or anywhere else. Diego will look like former Iowa State and Jayhawk QB that have gone into Austin to pick up W's. Horns down, boy! Yeah, how'd the whole horns down thing work out?
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
Yeah, it didn't really work out so good for you guys.
No
Texas is on a heater, dude. 6-7.
Better hope so, bro.
They're going to win 86-13.
Better hope so.
He's going to throw for 34 yards. It's going to get crazy. 27-17, Texas wins this game. And when it happens, Jake, I want my flowers on Monday.
Okay.
When Texas beats Vanderbilt, I expect, hey, buddy, my bad. You're amazing. Diddy oils in the mail.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
All right, before we get out of here, can we talk about erectile dysfunction amongst millennials? Because I've been waiting on this story for like 3 days. Jake is, sit back in your vest. Jake has been trying to avoid this non-sports story, but to end the week, I figure let's talk penises.
I want to thank me for having no days off.
There's a new report out. I believe it was Men's Health had a story about how millennial men are now the leading sufferers of erectile dysfunction.
His cock.
And Jake, I just want to know why.
The cack.
Why? Why do you
We were gifted houses. We were gifted a bad hand. We're stressed out. We're in debt, and we're unhappy.
So your peens don't work?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the leading cause of erectile dysfunction, bro? Stress and bad health.
Well, that's true. So so I think it's a combination of things. I think millennials have terrible diet. I do. Oh, look at DK. Texas hasn't played a home game in 42 days, which is longer than you've been a member. Let's go. Really not. DK, good to see you, man. I think it's because millennials don't eat well. I think it's because millennials don't exercise. And I think you are exactly right. I think millennials have a lot of issues in their life, so they wind up taking antidepressants, anti-anxieties. They wind up taking these because you guys also may know that millennials are now one of the leading groups of colon cancer sufferers. Their heart health is suffering. So you're taking things like statins, which are terrible for your boners. Like I think, well, what's the matter?
Bro. Quote, terrible for your boners.
It is. Bro. It is. Waking with morning wood keeps the doctor away. Dude,
That's every day.
Yes. Every morning the flagpole is up. I don't have any trouble. My wife hates me because of it. Like I'm telling you, my wife has built a partition between our bed because she just doesn't, I'm kidding. Puffy jackets cause ED.
Okay. I can personally attest that is not true.
That's why millennials have appointments for endowments in the Corolla.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But is it not odd to you guys that millennials suffer with ED? Like a good bit of millennials, and I think as men, we've probably all gone through that moment where like, hey, buddy, it's time. Let's go. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I think all dudes have been like, hey, is this thing on?
But to
right?
me, that's so obviously that's, yes, that is a situation of ED. But I think that to me, that's a different conversation than just generally speaking, you have issues, right? Like if one out of every, 20, 30 times when you're getting busy, it doesn't happen for you. That's a little different.
When you're getting busy.
That's a little different than, you know what, every day we're not running up the flagpole every day. We're not, we're not healthy that way. And I think that I just think it's a mental issue, meaning, hey, we're really stressed out. We are
not healthy. You guys are not healthy.
But like, I think it's not just physical health, right? It's mental health. It's emotional health. I think it's everything from not having enough money to a lot of people not willing to do what they need to do to get out of the hole that they're in. Like it's any of it, and that's what makes it difficult is that at some point you have to feel a win. You have to feel something positive. And I'm guessing if you asked a lot of those people that were in this study, if they had issues when they were, in Hawaii, let's say on vacation, when stress wasn't a thing in their life, when it's 80 and sunny and you're at the pool and you're getting a lot of vitamin D. And because I'm all jokes aside, I'm a huge believer in it, bro. When I have physical activity and I get a lot of sun, not excessive amounts, but I get a good amount of sun, and I'm hydrated, dude, all day long, no problem, good to go.
Yeah.
But
my blood pressure this morning at 7:20 was 108/62.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, I think that's incredibly important, but I think you guys, this depression thing.
Yeah, that's the core issue, in my opinion.
I think depression and anxiety and the antidepressant that is required or is, because I don't necessarily, I think as a country we're over medicated and we throw around I feel depressed or whatever. I think we throw that around like it's a buzzword or something cool or what. Well, everybody's depressed. Here, take medication. Like, I think we do that too much.
Yeah, in fact, everybody's not depressed.
Yeah, and I think if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, you've got to take action with that. You need, and it's one of the things as men, I think we don't want to go and tell our doctor, hey, I can't get a boner, or like I can't get it up. Right. Yeah. Like, I think we don't want to do that.
The issue with that is we don't want to say that. We're so ashamed to say that instead of understanding that that's just a side effect of a bigger issue. That's the thing. It's the ultimate cover story, right? Hey, if you can't do that, then what's the real issue? Because there are much bigger issues at play. I mean, it's everything from proper circulation to overall health to proper mental health. I mean, it's just all of it. And we haven't even touched on relational health with your spouse. So I just think it's
100%.
There are many factors, but generally speaking, if we're using broad brushes, I think the issue is that COVID wasn't good for people overall. We know that now. I also think that just overall, I mean, my generation is a generation that's full of debt and constantly on the grind and constantly trying to figure it out. That's the problem. And constantly feeling like we're behind.
Yeah.
And not just financially, but in life. And, like, it's just difficult.
Yep, I agree. Happy Halloween to you too, Roche. If you don't use it, you lose it. Well, and I joke on this show about you have to release 21 times a month at a minimum, they say, to be healthy. If you guys really should read Men's Health on a regular basis. There's a lot of good info on Men's Health. It's not just, hey, eat this and do this workout. But I think it was Men's Health that had the 21 times a month for prostate health. But Mike, totally agree with that. You got to get that stuff fixed if you're going to pull the banana in the tailpipe trick, dude. If you cannot sexually perform, you need to go to the doctor and say that, because that's almost always like, if it's a mechanical issue, that's your heart, circulation. If it is a mental issue, that's depression, anxiety. Like, go and get it fixed. And I think that's something that's difficult to do because we don't even talk about depression and anxiety in this country.
No.
That's in the back alleys. That's not something that anybody wants to admit. Yeah, I take. Like, how many of you are willing to tell somebody, yeah, I have high cholesterol? Or my doctor said to me today, when we were talking about my cholesterol numbers, and she was asking me about my blood work, and I showed her, I pulled up my chart. It's called My Chart from my previous doctor and all the blood work I had. And we were talking about how people who track, she sees routinely, this lady sees 17 people every day. That's crazy to me. But she was saying, like, the people who track their blood work live longer. She said, you would be surprised how many people have no idea that they have high A1C and high cholesterol. And eventually those people who don't track it wind up in the emergency room. And I think it's people who don't go get sexual dysfunction checked, who don't go get, who don't go get things on a regular basis checked out. It all builds into something. But I think for millennials, I think at some point we're past helping your generation. My revelation on this story on like Tuesday, whenever I found the story, was I think we're we are past helping the millennial generation. You guys have to empower yourselves. And I just think so many millennials don't have the tools at hand to empower themselves. I think mentally there's a real struggle there. I truly think there is a real barrier with millennials that they don't have beliefs in themselves. They don't have beliefs in the country, and they don't have beliefs in the system, but beliefs in the system that built this country. And understandably so. I'm not even vilifying millennials for that. But I think when you look at this issue and you look at the hows and the whys, I think anxiety probably plays a big part of it.
Yeah,
and you couldn't agree more. You listen to Amazon laying off 30,000 total employees. Now, they have what, 1.5 million total employees in their portfolio. So it's not like they're going out of business. But you look at the explosion of AI in distribution centers. You look at the explosion of AI across the business sector and really every sector. And now millennials are having to figure out how to deal with that. Millennial unemployment is skyrocketing in the second half. Now, a lot of that is what's going on in our current administration, but you have to empower yourself. It's something that I'm very curious to see how many millennials have the courage to do that.
It's got me, dude. Got me. I think that's difficult to project. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's. Yeah, the problems of the millennial is a deep, deep hole.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Everything is boomers' fault. Ruined food, hoarding all the money, and not teaching anybody about mental health. Dude, the mental health thing in this country, it is, we have this new fun hobby of putting stigmas on people. Oh, you're gay, you're trans, you're an illegal alien. Oh, you're a millennials. You're like we hang these scarlet letters on people. And right now in our current climate, it's very difficult to get that off. And I am telling you, and really, I mean this not just for millennials. I mean this for everybody in this country right now. Buck up. You need to have some courage. You need to have some courage. And the things that you need to do are scary, sure. The things you need to do are significant, absolutely. Where are your balls? Have some courage, right? I mean, and I'm not trying to point to my life. Like I look at the courage that, bro, my wife made a decision to move into an apartment in downtown Seattle and do something she's never done before. She's 52 years old. That takes some courage. If she's at 52 can do that, You can do that. But the difference is my 52-year-old wife has a belief that she can do that. And I don't think in this country anymore we empower each other. And I don't think anymore that you can expect the country to help you. I don't think anymore that you can say, well, everything's in a cycle and tough times make tough men and easy times make easy men. Every time is hard now. You got to buck up. You got to build it. You got to make it. You got to make it happen. You have to build wealth. You know, like who's going to explain to millennials that 3% mortgage rates are gone? And they should have never been here in the first place.
Wow. Yeah.
Who's gonna explain that?
Nobody.
Yeah,
I think that. Yeah, look, I think that millennials don't want to face the reality that you're looking at another 60 years of suffering if you do nothing. And no one's helping you. The cavalry's not coming. Nobody's there to save you. It's not happening, bro. And
I honestly believe Greg Hawkins is right like this. Take control of our own futures. Stop worrying about. I mean, again, I'm 52. I'm not even thinking about Social Security. I'm not even thinking about Medicaid, Medicare.
But I don't think millennials are thinking about that either. That's put that on the list of issues. We haven't had Social Security for us for ages.
I think millennials believe that somebody's going to swoop in and change things. That's not. There's nobody coming.
Yeah, I don't think that. Not that you're saying I think that, but I think that. A lot of the millennials I know don't think anyone's coming, which is why they think the world's against them, in my opinion. Which is why I think a lot of millennials don't vote, and I think are not
which is really stupid.
I think that millennials are plagued by this mindset of watching social media instead of creating it, and I think that millennials don't want to say, yeah, you know what, like, yeah, bro, like we had it made when we were kids, right? A lot of us, I'm not saying everybody, obviously there's millennials that had a bad childhood or, didn't get a fair shake as a kid. But I think, the syndrome is, hey, we had everything given to us and now we're unwilling to say, yeah, you know what? Like I need to learn, I need to add some tools to the tool bag here so I can figure this out. And that's the thing. I think the best thing you can do for a millennial is say like, hey, what's holding you back right now? What's the biggest thing? What is the perceived challenge in front of you? Because that's what I think the issue is. Hey, everything's against us. No Social Security. No, no this, no that. We have all these issues, and however you want to vocalize it, whether it's millennials need to nut up or sack up or get going or whatever it is. I just think people don't act scared when they know what they need to do to get the job done. And the issue is
right. But wait, hold on. Listen to what you just said. People don't act scared when they know what they have to do to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
What did the guy who flew an airplane for the first time? Did the Model T? Innovate for your life? Like you have to have more courage than that. That's the hard part, right? Like and yeah, Greg is right. Superman's not coming. You're Superman. And I think that's really, really important. It doesn't matter if you have what you need. You got to go and get what you need. Right? And I don't have a problem with people being fearful. It's what allows firemen to do the job. Right? It's the old Teddy Atlas video. And if you have not seen it, just put into YouTube, Teddy Atlas fireman. Right? We don't run from the fire. And millennials got to stop running from the fire. Put on your fire coat, put on your boots and your helmet and grab the hose, dude. That to me, that's what resonates is it's okay to be fearful, to have fear or insecurity, or what's not okay is to curl up on the ground and wait for somebody to come and help you. Figuratively. But Roche does have a great dentist in American Fork, you know. He says, my retirement plan is to blow the dust off French passports and move to Europe because I have no retirement or health care in America, dude. And there's no sign that's coming either. You know, and I know that everybody thinks Obamacare is a joke and a scam, but how many people are getting their insurance through that? Millions of people. Millions of people. Look at what's going to happen. Look at what we talked about on the show yesterday. What is going to happen tomorrow when SNAP benefits start going away? And the thing that I think so many people don't think about is you automatically assume that it's people who won't work. People who are lazy. Those are the ones that get food stamps. Well, what about foster parents? What about adoptive parents? What about, you know, like you look at the totality of the picture. The suffering in this country gets much, much worse tomorrow. Did you guys see that LaGuardia Airport closed today? Because air traffic controllers stopped showing up for work because they're not getting paid anymore. Like, the pain in this country is going to get fucking worse. And you better do something about it. Not the president, not your senator, not your congressperson, not whoever the next mayor of New York is on Tuesday. When we wake up Wednesday morning, you better do something about it. That's what's scary. That's what it should be terrifying you. Millennials genuinely need help, but it's frequently problems caused by our own doing. The real problem was our bad choices weren't sufficiently punished. Oh, my God. How true is that? Greg's on a heater. We chose not to learn from our mistakes. True. Right? Oh, no. The work has to get done, but no one wants to pay for it. Whatever shall we do? Well, you know, we'll see. I don't know. I just thought that this whole thing with millennials leading another not good story is very apropos of where we are in this country right now. Very apropos of where we are in this country. So, speaking of where we are, don't forget to get your creatine at buckedup.com this weekend. 20% off when you use a promo code Monty at checkout. MONTY Monty at checkout, buckedup.com. If you're not taking, I take 10 grams of creatine every single day. Get creatine monohydrate, buckedup.com. Use a promo code Monty. Have a great football weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Go Doyers. Go Doyers. Yamamoto. Jake, what are you doing?
Looking at my phone.
What's on your phone right now?
ESPN updates, making sure that Nick Saban didn't get hired.
The button to play the closing music, is that on your phone too?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Jake completely missed the cue to end the show. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, who remind you a lot of kids on the road, and Halloween is very busy. There's a lot of kids out. Be careful. Control your pets, please, tonight. And when you're driving, please slow down and please be careful. If the worst happens, the Advocates are ready to serve you at theadvocates.com 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.